Hey guys, it's Jason Wamper. Another episode of the Rocket Minute. You know, I've been, how should I say, and or for the lack of a better word, appallingly derelict in my duties as the host of this show. Well, that dereliction of duty ends now. John Bowen would know what I'm talking about. Shout out to John Bowen. That guy's an awesome storyteller. Shout out to Scotty Kilmer. I hope his name's not, his persona is not copyrighted. Scotty is a great giant. He takes on the giants, and he's brave. Somebody needs to. My name is Jason Wampler. I got my hands on some stuff from Lowe's Hardware in Huntington Beach. This is almost like 2-inch. This is thin-walled, not damn, size of it. 1 1/4 PVC SDR 26. I guess that's a rating for the thin-walled stuff. Look at how big that is relative to my hands. Now I want to show you something. I forgot to bring this out. You know, it's not gonna use this little handle here. Graylight. I want to show you something. About 10 bucks. I got 3 of these NC60 nose cones from Estes. I've been talking about that before. I told you, making your own nose cones and nose cone plugs for somebody who wants to lay them up with fiberglass after they make a mold around the plug you manufactured is a lot of work. It's fun, but when something that small becomes that time consuming, I tend to get a little edgy. I don't like spending too much time on a project that I know that I'm not very good at, therefore wasting time. Other people can get the same task done in a quarter of the time because they're good at it. They enjoy it. They have a natural talent for it. I don't like to get caught up in projects like that. If I'm not good at it, there's no shame in just going ahead and subletting out some of that. Making nose cones and nose cone molds is one of those things. I've never cared for molding. I kind of don't like painting, but I'll put up with it. But painting is the kind of difficult that just takes too much time. It's just, you produce very little over a long period of time. You gotta obey all these rules of physics, and it's a real natural pain in the butt. So I kind of like when we get some more funding. I did get a little bit more funding today. And I get the funding from the U.S. government for these other projects. I can, in fact, afford to do less by myself and for myself and just go ahead and commission the work. I can sit down and draw something. I even make a nose cone plug if I get myself a nice good old-fashioned wood lathe, or there's some Russian fellow took a 3/4 inch grinder and converted it and made a wood lathe out of it. I think I might want to do that if I have the time. But the point is, I don't want to make my own nose cones. I just don't have an interest in it. It's just too much work. People who want to be jewelers who make little teeny itty bitty parts that take 24 hours to form, that's fine. If you have the patience for that, you see the payoff emotionally, that's fine. I don't want to do that. So we subcontract. We let other people do that which we do not enjoy or have a passion for. It always works out for the best. Everybody makes money, and people can say, yeah, well, I was involved in the project too. So you help their self-esteem as well. So anyway, back to this stuff. I have been waiting to get this material. For going on 5 years, since probably before the COVID-19 pandemic. You cannot get this stuff in just anywhere. Most plumbing supply, most irrigation water supply stores, lawnmower sprinkler stores, you cannot obtain this. It's a very, very rare form of pipe. It doesn't have a whole lot of uses because of the extremely thin wall. The wall thickness is half that regular Schedule 40 PVC pipe. By the way, I was mistaken in calling it Schedule 80. I just saw some numbers in there. There was a manufacturer's number. This stuff, to the best of my ability, I understand this to be SDR 26. Yes, that's right. I understand it to be SDR 26. So the thin wall stuff at 1 1/4 inch, SDR 26 is 1 1/4 inch diameter, 1/16 or 3/32 wall thickness PVC tube. Again, that is SDR 26. It's not schedule 40. Each different pipe size of wall thickness and type of material has its own model number and an MSDS sheet. Well, I'm with it. This program, by the way, is edited for children. People of all ages are welcome to watch, but I don't choose the Made for Children channel, because then the folk at YouTube, they start watching people like me a little bit more closely, and then they start to ask these interesting questions like, why are you interested in teaching little children how to build rockets? The term homemade terrorist comes to bear, and I end up looking like a monkey instead of a millionaire. So I'm just really careful. You know, the way these questions are posed, they can trip you up. So the FCC is really wily, and so is Google. I answer to Google. Google answers to the FCC, and a scary thing that can be, from what I understand. I don't like this fascist, totalitarian grip on media outlets, you know, and the exposure of information that the Americans get, and how censored everything is. But that's for like a political blog. I'm not necessarily sure I want to do that. But I am concerned with talking about, you know, maintaining decency appeal on this channel. No cussing, no sex, no violence, no drugs. I don't smoke, drink, do marijuana. I don't gamble. I don't sleep around. I'm still not married, but I'm looking for a beautiful wife. But here's the thing. When you want to be successful, when you're on a YouTube channel, when you have a YouTube channel, you got to be whistle clean. Not necessarily a whistle clean background, but you have to behave. There are rules. And the rules are there to protect everybody's delicate sensibilities. They're also to keep up their rating. YouTube is going to lose its credibility worldwide and in front of the FCC in this country, because they don't obey the rules. If everybody obeys just a common set of rules, a little bit of decency and self-respect to your neighbor, without limiting their rights and freedom, and not limiting yours, then everybody gets along better. Society works like a well-oiled machine. So I understand it, I get it. I'm not going to complain about anything else. What I am going to complain about is the fact that some people are using YouTube as a political vehicle to get their ideals forth. Some people are very, very violent and dangerous. Some people use it as a platform for declaring and manifesting their political ideals. And I got to tell you, there are plenty of people on this planet that want to destroy instead of build and create. It's very, very, very depressing, but that's just kind of how it is. Anyway, okay, so what we're going to do before we lose available light, we're gonna cut a section of this off. I can make the rocket this full length, and I'm tempted to, and I think I'm going to. So we're going to cut 3 sections. This rocket is going to be a 10-foot tall rocket, and I got to be honest with you, I haven't built a rocket this big in a long time. But if we build it right, it'll be successful. Okay, so have some faith. All right, I've redone my inverter system completely, and I'm a little freaked out about how well it's going to work. But with the car running, I got a voltmeter. I can know the health of the charging system in the car. I just got some. I bought a 750 inverter, $15 used, from a nice person named Jennifer, and she was able to manage to give me a solar DC to DC converter. But I saw him later. He just, well, anyway, it's a long story. But anyway, I won't get into that. That's not part of this show. So anyway, I made this conglomerated mess. I'm going to show you this. By the way, I custom built this tool in case anybody wants to know, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I got a bone to pick with Google, but I'll talk about that later. This is the 750 watt pure sine wave inverter. That's a 100 watt inverter I've had for a long time. This is a digital readout. Now I know how much my car is charging. Every single vehicle on this planet needs several things on the dashboard. They need an oil pressure gauge, and they need to know how high or what temperature their coolant is, and they need to be able to listen to the engine and determine if there's any problems. Hey folks, if you can't keep up, then I don't know what to tell you. You maybe shouldn't be driving a car if you don't understand the technology, at least some basics. But see, I got all that and all that down there. So the peep show is over. Let's go ahead and get on plugging this thing in, which is what I have to do. And each time I use a tool in this, I have to train the brain of the inverter. It's not fun. All right, baby. There we go, man. Calm down. Oh man, shorts. I'm turning him into rags. I'll never be without rags again, I tell you. Whatever reason, last 48 hours I've gotten about 2 hours of sleep. But that's okay. I've just had a lot to do and running on top of my taxes. Now, this new inverter setup is new to this tool, so we'll turn it on and let it cycle and get the inverter used to it. Make about 3 attempts doing that. Let's see. Okay, so I've got a 750 watt inverter. It's 1500 watt peak, so it's a pure sine wave inverter. Manufacturing inverters suddenly realized if you mention the phrase pure sine wave, you can almost double the price of the product. So I don't like that. I don't like exploratory marketing. It plays with people's pocketbooks and patience. It's inhuman, not ethical. Anyway, enough about me. So what are we going to do with this? We're going to cut sections of this apart. I want to go ahead and use the entire length of this pipe. This is an incredible find. It's very rare to find these. Again, the rating, that weird rating is SDR 26, Sam David Randall 26, the number 26. It's not Schedule A, it's not Schedule 40. I don't think there's anything as such as Schedule 80. I won't say that anymore. And so this had to have its own name. SDR26. I'm in love. All right, we're going to cut sections of it. We're going to grind it. We're going to use a newly acquired block sander. We're going to sand the sections down, square sand them, and get this printing off. Maybe we'll have a little bit of time to mock test and fit the nose cone, because those NC60 nose cones from Essie's fit this material almost perfect. You just have to shave and modify. So I don't want too many people to know. Too many people who don't want to build rockets, I don't want them to know that we build rockets. I've got to be honest with you, people freak out. They're like animals crawling into your backyard, and they're so fascinated by the foliage and the leaves, and then you see them, you show up, they look at each other, they look at you for 15 seconds, you barely walk toward them just to be friendly with them, they turn around and bolt, but not before emptying their bowels and their bladders on your azaleas. Anyway, okay, so we're going to cut sections of this off. We're going to get into this now. I've talked way too much, and this is probably not going to be a short episode. I promise, however, keep my eye on the clock. Here we go. Okay, the cutting process is a little difficult. You know what I always say? American plastic is stronger than Japanese steel. So this material feels very, very strong. You'll find that American plastic has a reputation around the world for being some of the toughest plastic you can find anywhere. It goes true for the steel, but we're not really talking about that right now. If we're going through, if you can see, it's not really lining up with the original cut, and that bothers me. But we'll just go ahead and fix that anyway. And I'll correct it once the part is separated. You can let the tool do the work. So, and there you go. Now we're going to do the rough planing with the cutting bit itself. So it's got machine and sanding medium on it. That's how it's designed. Last thing I need is more ink to keep the tape down. So here's what we're going to do. Let's stir this up. Put this snub on the inch diameter. Put some space in the shell. Rotate it counterclockwise while gyrating the cutting head clockwise. So this is how to direct get a quicker cut, but a more professional look, and of course, more use of Alright, I'm starting to fade in now. Got that 2 hours of sleep the last 2 days. I was starting to catch up with myself. If I say something stupid or static, please know that I'm just really, really tired today. Nothing more. Let me push this down. I like to think I have a positive influence, but I don't want to be told about it. There we go. Now, the old sander ran fine off this inverter, and no blinking red light. I don't like when it does that, but I gotta tell you, I think 750 amps is a minimum. Well, you know what? I've got a thought, and I'll just keep my mouth shut. Let's get these ends squared up. See if we can do a rough fit for the chat or for the. My goodness, I'm saying nothing. Oh, the coupler, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Oh no, we didn't see anything. Maybe I should put this thing on the, see, you always see me just doing this really boring stuff. Holding a plastic tube on the side, back and forth, back and forth. You know, without those papers, never mind, you know what? Oh my god, my subconscious is starting to Wow, I'm going nuts. I'm sorry, I'm street talking. Like I said, that 2 hours of 2 hours of sleep the past 48 hours, that's really catching up to me. Okay, here we go. taking out a fair to its conclusion. And a little piece of old man shorts came apart. Oh, Panama shorts. I've seen people wear shorts. I don't know. What are they naming that thing for? Alright, so we're going to wipe this off. Like that, like that, like that. And you have your forward section, which is not at all done. So I don't want to say it's easy. As I mentioned before, the biggest cost in aerospace is always going to be labor. Then the electric bill for running everything that the labor implements to get the job done. And people don't realize that and they don't see that. And you know, people just they're just crazy. I don't know. The whole world is moving too fast for the pace of engineering to go. That's everything. That's why everything's going to hell in a handbasket. I'm not real happy. But you know, life is life. Life goes on. And que sera, sera, sera. All that good stuff. You know, let me pull it on the Okay, so and by the way, don't paint this rocket after you've gone over with a block center. I don't care what anybody says. You have to do your sanding by hand. You start with 220 grit, work yourself down to 150, or actually 150 to 220. You don't want to go away from 400 grit. A higher grit, I'll leave a package on me. You know, it's too fine. The paint will sit too coarse. You know, too coarse, and it's not going to stick to the surface. You know what? We're at daylight, and I'm still starting to fall off. It's at that's 2 hours, that's 48 hours. Sleep. Wow, my nervous system's crying out. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see what we did. We did this in several steps. We actually took a piece of this coat, and you know what? I'm starting to say things that are making me absolutely sound loony. I think I'm gonna turn the sound off. Guys, I'm serious. I'm absolutely just dying of hunger, and I'm so tired. I didn't sleep at all last night. I do that every once in a while, but it's hard on people. So I really enjoy it anyway. You know what? I keep doing it. Oh my God. Hold on.